Welcome to Travel Matters, the official podcast of TBEX. Here are your hosts, the Radio Vagabond, Palle, and TBEX CEO, Rick Calvert.
Welcome to Travel Matters. My name is Palle, and right now I'm in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And Rick, you're not in San Diego anymore.
I'm in Ogden, Utah.
Ogden, Utah.
Yeah, we moved here about 2 months ago now, I guess. And we have a beautiful view of the mountains right here from our front porch. And we're getting a really nice thunderstorm. And my Angie and one of our daughters, Viv, is home from school because she's got a little rash. They're just oohing and awing, looking at the rain because, we don't see rain in Southern California ever. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. And here in Belfast, I don't know if you can hear it. I could hear it just before. I don't think you can, but there was an ice cream truck driving past outside right now, and actually, I before coming here to Northern Ireland, I listened to an episode of Scott Gurian's Far From Home, where he visited this area. Scott, who was also a great travel podcaster, and he heard the ice cream truck as well, and said, "Oh, all is good then." But then it turns out, according to that podcast that was recorded 3 years ago, that it's... Can you hear it? It's in the background. No, but...
you want to go yell at him, tell him you're recording and keep it down?
I'm recording. Can you keep it down?
Yeah.
No, that it's the Protestant have one ice cream truck and the Catholic have another ice cream truck. But I don't know if it's still the case. It seems very peaceful
really?
And living in harmony right now. Yeah.
Well, I just saw an article yesterday. So, confession that we actually recorded this podcast once already, but I screwed it up because I recorded it wrong, so we're doing it again. And yesterday you told me, that King Charles was there.
Yep.
In Northern Ireland.
Exactly.
Which was interesting. But I read a story after we spoke that said he was actually meeting with Sinn Féin while he was there.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they're best of friends, but
oh my God!
they weren't trying to kill him,
no,
and he wasn't trying to kill them. So,
wow.
Yeah, I would say things have probably dramatically improved since the Catholic and Protestant ice cream trucks.
Yeah. The walls are still here. I went on a trip yesterday where we got to one of the walls, one of the many walls, and got to sign it. Something that started in the Bill Clinton era when he was here in Belfast, and he was actually, as far as I know, the first one who signed this wall, and now as people signing it from all over the world, and a lot of people have been here, and Nelson Mandela signed it, and a lot of people have signed it. So that's become a thing, and the walls are still here. They're talking about maybe it comes down at some point, but maybe it don't. Actually, we're inside an area that at night there's an alarm, and then the gates automatically close. You can still get in and out of the area, but some parts of it closes during the night, so people can sleep more quiet.
And there was a curfew.
Yeah. So obviously I've been recording a lot here in Northern Ireland. We were in Derry yesterday and visited the Free Derry Museum where Bloody Sunday happened in 72, and we got a lot of the history here, and it's very, very different now. Yeah. Bloody Sunday, that was exactly 50 years ago this year. So a lot of things have happened, and some of the Northern Irish people are saying at some point it might be a reunited Ireland and one country again. But yeah, it's not there yet, but it's definitely much, much different than it used to be. By the way,
have a little aside. Go ahead.
I just want to say, probably the reason you're listening to this podcast is because we're going to have an announcement about TBEX Europe 2023, but that's coming up. Excuse me, Rick, you were saying?
Well, I had a complete segue to something different. There is a book that I would recommend people read. It's not a travel book. It's called The End of the World is Just the Beginning. I just finished this audio book. The author is Peter Zehan. And I think we should do maybe a whole episode on this, and I've actually approached him to ask him to speak at TBEX. But he predicts that the world's going to fall apart in the next couple of generations. So we're talking about
that's uplifting.
Yeah, well, it's very concerning actually, but things have been moving in a peaceful direction throughout the world for a really long time. Now, obviously, there's been wars, and there's one going on in Ukraine right now, but in general, things have been getting much, much better for several decades. The fall of the Berlin Wall, going back to that. Mm-hmm. He's a data cruncher, and he's talking about all these numbers, things that are happening, and what most people might be surprised to know, the world's actually in global population decline. Mm-hmm. And China is having the fastest and deepest population decline. We all know that's happened in Japan many, many decades ago, but this is happening all over the world.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, travel, we may be the last generation or two to be able to travel the way that we do now. That's why I wanted to mention it.
Oh.
So I think it's a very, very interesting book. He doesn't really talk about travel, but that's what I was thinking about amongst all these other doom and gloom things that are going to happen. But yeah, it might be very much harder to travel in the next 20 years than it is today, which is just a complete reversal from the way it's been.
I was kind of thinking that it would be easier because this year I've been traveling to 9 African countries, and a lot of them are difficult when it comes to visa. And I was kind of hoping, come on, make it more easy for people to visit your country. And I thought that we were going in that direction.
Definitely. The trend for the last 30 years has been in that direction, getting easier and easier and easier to travel. Obviously, COVID threw that all upside down.
Please remind me of the title again, because I definitely want to get it.
The End of the World is Just the Beginning, Peter Zeihan. And I should say it's not a political book in any way. He doesn't have some particular ideology that he's pushing. He's just analyzing the data of population decline and what happens because of that.
Yeah.
And, the reason the global economy has gotten significantly better, again, over the last 40 years. Ever since World War II, it's gradually been increasing, but much, much steeper in just the last few decades because of global prosperity, of global energy, and also the population boom that the world was having and industrialization around the world. Well, there's a weird thing that happens to us humans that as we industrialize, we have fewer kids. And again, another weird thing that he talks about is the faster your country industrializes, because it took the U.S. 100 years to industrialize after most of Europe, right? Mm-hmm. And China did it almost instantly in a very short period of time. So the faster that you industrialize, the faster you stop having kids, and the faster you start going into population decline. So it's a really interesting thing.
Yeah.
So the general premise of the book is because of this, all these things are going to happen. There's going to be wars. There's going to be famine. There's going to be people starving, and those are all horrible things and things we should all try to prevent and hopefully change that future. But the thing that I was thinking about because of what we do is that, travel is going to be severely impacted.
Yeah.
A very, very interesting book if you care about those things. And travelers are by nature curious people. So
Exactly. And I just want to jump in here and say, if you're listening to this podcast episode because you want to hear about TBEX Europe, we have a big announcement where it's going to happen in 2023. But first, Rick, I'd like to, because the last time, see how I'm teasing. I'm such a professional. The last time we spoke, you were on your way to leave San Diego, or you've been living most of, if not all of your life, and
all my life,
going to Utah of all places. And you told me that you were going to get an Airbnb and then stay there for a while and then go look at different houses. So please tell me what happened. Yeah,
so we got here with an Airbnb at the beginning of July, I think. And, we were going to stay in this Airbnb for, I think, 3 weeks is how long we had it reserved, and look for a permanent home here. And we ended up finding a place that we loved the very first day that we got here.
The very, very first day.
The very first day.
Wow.
We had looked at it online, and it was at the top of our list. There were 2 places. One was the guy who owned the Airbnb also had a house for rent right next door, which we loved. And we're like, okay, that's our number one pick. And then, so he's like, well, if you rent the Airbnb and if you like this, we'll give you a deal on the house next door.
Ah, sure.
And then we found this other place, and that kind of went to the top of our list. So we had number one and number two right below. And we came to look at this house and loved it. And my wife, Angie, said, this place is too amazing.
It's too good. It's too good.
Yeah.
We're never going to get it.
She's the pessimist. And by the time we got back to our Airbnb that afternoon, it was a couple hours later, there was a text from the owner saying, you got the house. And so we both cried. And then that night, I started feeling sick. The next morning, I had COVID. I was really sick for a couple of days. And then, of course, the whole family got it because it was a tiny little place. There's no way to quarantine. So we were stuck in the Airbnb for 3 weeks doing nothing, not getting to go out.
And you wanted to go explore and then look at the place. And oh, my God.
See the town, yeah.
Yeah.
And then our furniture was delayed for a month. And so we're just now unboxing and getting everything done. But, yes, we absolutely love it here. And
yeah, so
very happy.
Yeah, so that is one of the reasons that we haven't put out any episodes of Travel Matters for a couple of months or a month and a half or so, and also since I think the last time we spoke, I was in Lisbon and just about to go on yet another Africa trip, and I went to Ghana, toured around Ghana, and then I went to Togo, Benin. And we were actually, I was traveling with a friend from Florida, and we were looking into getting to Gabon because we wanted to go to Sao Tome and Principe, and we found a flight to Gabon, so we could visit that as well, Libreville in Gabon. The flights there were, they were kind of cheap. It was a good deal, and we were just waiting for the visa to Gabon. And it looked very simple on the website to get an e-visa, but my visa went through, but my friend's visa did not go through. So once we finally found out a way to get the visa when we were in Benin, she could go to the embassy in Benin and get the visa, just sit there and wait and get it the same day. We said, okay, before you go, let's just check if we still have the flights. And then the flights had quadrupled in price. It was ridiculous how expensive it was. So that plan was out the window. So we went back to Togo instead, saw some more in the north of the capital, and then into Ghana, saw another part of Ghana, and then down to Accra in Ghana. And from there, we took a return flight to Sao Tome and got to be in the center of the world.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So while I was quarantined, you were going all over the place, more crazy than your usual travels. Yeah.
And then I went to Rome. I had to find a base to produce a podcast project for Lego, and I did that in Rome.
And now you're on a trip with your daughters, right?
Yeah, I went to England, and my kids joined me after a week in England. And now we're doing a trip. When we were in England, they got a new prime minister, and then we went to Scotland, and the Queen was in Scotland and passed away, and now we're in Northern Ireland, and the King was here, and tomorrow we're getting on a boat to go back to the mainland and get down to Wales. And we also heard that the former Prince of Wales, now the King, is going to be in Wales when we're there. So I have a feeling that history is following us around as we go.
You should be a paparazzi, Palle. You could be stalking the royals and taking pictures.
Yeah, just stick my microphone and get some sounds of the royals. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting times. It's definitely interesting times.
Absolutely. You're witness to history there. Mm-hmm. Travel is a window into the way people in the world are, right? One of the things that I love about it is it helps us understand different people, different parts of the world. Mm-hmm. And then when you're in a place, for whatever reason, fate brings you there when history occurs. Yeah. It's a very unique time, like on my honeymoon, we traveled to Europe right after 9/11. It's interesting. I just read something earlier about how much British people hate Americans.
No.
And I was thinking back to 9/11 when I was there. and they were so nice to us. And the British people were, I mean, I tear up when I think about the UK, the way people treated us then. And in Germany, in Munich, there was this monument in the Marienplatz in Munich of candles and letters and flowers to Americans. It was unbelievable. But my point is, this leaves an impression on you for the rest of your life. And you get some unique insight into a country and into the people of that country, like the Queen dying. It was a major, major event in the UK. Yeah. And you were there, stalking the Queen.
I see flowers all over the place. In Edinburgh and in Glasgow, there was a sea of flowers. Here in Belfast, there was a mural with a painting of the Queen when she was younger. I think it was Claire Foy on the picture. And and I don't know if you got that joke. The actor who played the Queen when she was young in The Crown.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't watch The Crown. Angie watches The Crown.
Oh, you should. But there was a sea of flowers there as well. So no, actually, right after we're done talking, I'm gonna watch the episode 1 of The Crown because my kids are here. They haven't seen it, so I'm gonna have them watch the first episode of The Crown and listen to your wife and go watch it yourself. It's amazing.
Angie is watching either The Crown or whatever the latest memorial to the Queen is, the procession, all the different things. That's on her TV 24/7. The Crown or something about the Queen. Yeah. I just started rewatching a series about Rome, which is amazing if you've never seen it. If you like history, it's a great docudrama.
Yeah. And speaking about Europe, in a few seconds we're going to be announcing where the next TBEX Europe is going to be. Yep. But first, we have 2 other TBEXs coming up. So let's just briefly talk a little bit about those. We're in Lafayette, Louisiana for the next...
October 12 to 14 in Lafayette, Louisiana. That's coming up in just a month. We've got an amazing lineup of speakers. I'm looking on the site now. JJ Manicus is amazing. YouTuber, Samantha Wee from My Tan Feet in Costa Rica, Travis Levius, Lauren Gay, one of my favorite creators, Outdoor Diva, Leah Ziliak, Toby Doors, right there from Lafayette, Sheila Scarborough of Tourism Currents, Leah Garcia, Brandon Neth, Angie Orth. Angie's amazing. She always nails it in how travel industry and travel creators should work together and with mutual respect and everybody getting benefit out of it. Sergio Sala, Jared Bauman, Claudia Crush, Diane McNamara, and our friend Kerwin McKenzie, and a bunch of others. We have an amazing lineup there. They have some great pre-BEX trips and fam trips and parties. We've got a party every night there. And the last one, the show will actually end early, is the Festival de Cadians, which is the largest Cajun Creole music and food festival in the world. Lafayette is the center of Cajun and Creole culture. Zydeco music was invented there, and it's just a gigantic music fest. And I know I told you this yesterday, so it's not a surprise to you. But you know how they like cut a ribbon when the parade starts, right? Or the fair or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. But in Lafayette, they cut a giant boudin. It's like a 10-foot long boudin sausage. And if you never had boudin, again, it's a giant sausage kind of thing. It's a particular type of sausage. It's not really like anything else I've ever tasted. And if you've never had boudin in Lafayette, you haven't had boudin. Oh. So they cut this giant sausage and then we eat it. Yeah. So like thousands of people.
Oh my God.
And then the festival begins. Yeah. So that will be amazing.
So that's TBEX North America in October. And then just 1 month later, in November, we're all going to be in Phuket, Thailand.
In Phuket, Thailand, November 15 through 18. This will be an incredible event. Thailand's one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. Yeah, and how many times have you been to Thailand?
I've been there 3 or 4 times. but I have not been to Phuket. I've been mostly in Chiang Mai area and in Bangkok, but I haven't been to that part of Thailand. And I'm going to spend a month there. So once I get there for TBEX, it's going to be great. And it's not the first time TBEX has been in Thailand. You were in Bangkok as well, but that was before me, so I wasn't there. But I hear that they threw an amazing opening or closing party. Every
party was incredible.
Oh, wow.
We had our own fireworks show at our closing party. They had a celebrity television hostess hosted the closing party. We didn't just have a VIP area. There was a VVIP area.
Wow.
So there were the regular VIPs, and then there were the really real VIPs.
Yeah.
And it was very, very impressive.
I've been to one TBEX in Asia before. That was in Manila, and I remember one of the parties there with dancing and music, and the food was amazing.
Are you talking about the Philippines?
Yeah.
TBEX in the Philippines?
Yeah.
Was also amazing. That I would put that at number 2, and then Cancun, Mexico, number 3. And as far as extravagance of parties, all the parties have their own unique feel to them. But yeah, the Philippines party was incredible as well.
And I know that Shane and the team are really working on getting a good set of lineup of speakers there as well. But maybe we should leave that for a future episode to talk about that. But they're doing pretty well, right?
They're doing great. We got a great lineup of speakers there as well. One thing I will say about TBEX Thailand and Phuket, you're very lucky to go to this one, because COVID was absolutely devastating for Thailand in general and Phuket in particular. It is an area that just lives on tourism, and hundreds of thousands of people were put out of work because of the COVID-19 restrictions. So if there's ever a complaint, it would be that it's too crowded. It is not crowded right now. You will see it in a way that you'll never see it again in your lifetime, most likely. So this is the perfect time to come to Phuket.
Wow. Yeah, this is an interesting time to visit.
But again, another reason for us to go and to support them and help them recover. I mean, obviously travel will come back to Phuket. It is a popular destination for a reason.
Yeah.
And Thailand, in particular Chiang Mai, where you've been, is a huge expat community of travel creators and in particular, just digital nomads in general. Huge community there in Thailand in general and Chiang Mai in particular.
Yeah. I think it's about time that I put on the jingle, right?
Yeah, come on, Palle.
Okay, here it is.
We've been waiting.
And now, breaking news about TBEX Europe.
There we go. Okay, now it's time to spill the beans. Where are we going for TBEX Europe in 2023?
So TBEX Europe 2023 will be May 8 through 12 in a country we've been to before, but not to this region.
Okay, wait. Let's have a drum roll.
Kalamata, Greece, and the Peloponnese region of Greece, the Peloponnese Peninsula. This is arguably home of the first travel writer ever.
Yeah.
The Iliad, the Odyssey, Homer is from the Peloponnese region. The whole story of Helen of Troy, Mycenae, Agamemnon, Achilles, that Ajax is all from the Peloponnese. The history in this region is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. And I have been to Greece, 15 times. I've never been to this part of Greece, so I'm really looking forward to that. So good choice.
Yeah, sometimes like Athens would be a more obvious, right? Our first trip there, or Dublin, our first trip to Ireland, and then we venture out and go to some other places you might not have heard of. But we're on your list. It's funny enough, we had people guess where the host destination was going to be, and a bunch of people did guess Greece.
Did you put out some clues on this?
Yeah, it's really hard because there's a lot of famous things from this region, so we couldn't get too specific, like Kalamata olives, Kalamata figs. They're famous for sponges. They're famous for cheese. They're famous for wine. They're famous for olives. Some of those things are just too much of a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
So
I remember when you did something similar before. That was pre-pandemic when you were having people guess on Sicily. I was doing a press trip to Sri Lanka, and I was with a bunch of bloggers, and you'd whispered in my ears because we were doing the podcast, so I knew, and they thought, okay, Palle knows, so they were grilling me and coming up with all kinds of guesses. Then you put out something with, it's on the sea and blah blah blah. So they came and said, it's Barcelona. I think it's Barcelona. I bet it's Barcelona. So funny.
Mm-hmm.
So you had some guesses on this one as well. Not only Greece,
Helsinki, Thessaloniki, with another beautiful place in Greece. Somebody just said Scandinavia, Copenhagen, Corinthia. There's another one for Helsinki, Slovenia, Lago Arvo. I don't even know where that is. Let's see. There's a bunch of Corinthia on here that I'm seeing. Stockholm, where we've been before, of course. We'd love to go back to Sweden. Yep. Lake Doxa in Corinthia. Wow, a bunch of people guessed Corinthia. I guess we must have had a clue that threw people off.
Yeah.
Another Finland, Turku, Trentino, Italy. It would be amazing. Bari, Italy. Anyway, there was a bunch of Italy, a bunch of cities in Greece, but the wrong city. All over Europe, of course.
Yeah.
Because we said if you guess the right city, and I think there were 9 people in the end who guessed the right city, you'd be in a contest to win free tickets to the event and invitation to the VIP speaker party as well, which normally attendees don't get to go to. The winner of that particular contest was Gemma Taylor. So it was Gemma Taylor is the winner of that contest. Looks like she's in British Columbia. And Palle, I think you looked up her site.
Yeah, I found the site is called Off Track Travel. And here it says, hi there, we are Jean, Robert, and Gemma, a British-Canadian couple who love to explore beyond by foot, road, and paddle. And then they have a really cool blog and some great photos as well. And congratulations to Gemma.
I hope we plugged the right site for you, Gemma, because we actually found 3 different travel creators under Gemma Taylor. But we figured this one's in British Columbia. That's where you're located. So hopefully we got you the right site. Yes, people are going to have an amazing time in Kalamata, Greece. We have a limited amount of super discounted tickets, 50 super discounted tickets. Once those are gone, they're gone.
Yeah, and at the time of this recording, how many do you have left?
We have like 19 left.
Okay.
So
how much are the tickets off on those super cheaper tickets?
$197.
Right.
So, and those will go up to $247 as soon as those are gone. So you can save $50.
That is cool. And the dates again?
May 8 through 11 in Kalamata, Greece, in the Peloponnese.
That's awesome. And obviously, remember to subscribe to Travel Matters, as we're going to reveal much more about what's going to happen. And pretty soon, we're also going to be covering more about what's going to happen in Lafayette and also in Phuket, Thailand. So a lot of stuff is coming up right here on Travel Matters.
Yep, lots of news coming up in the near future.
Thank you, Rick. It was good catching up with you, and see you soon.
Thank you, Palle. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
This episode of Travel Matters was hosted by TBEX CEO Rick Calvert and Radio Vagabond Palle and produced by radioguru.co.uk.